Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, just a brief little video on how we can still launch Internet Explorer. The simple fact of the matter is that over the years, Microsoft has replaced Internet Explorer, rightfully so, don't get me wrong, with their Edge browser. But now they're basically strong-arming people that you no longer have any option to run Internet Explorer at all. So they're basically bullying and forcing users to use Edge or anything else, but not use Internet Explorer, even if you explicitly try to. And there's a reason why some users, and I should say developers in reality, need this. The Internet Explorer-based web browser control that is used in more programs than just Access uses Internet Explorer. That's what's basically running behind the scenes. We cannot properly test HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and things like that on Edge. It doesn't give us the proper representation because Edge supports so much more than Internet Explorer ever did. And testing within your own direct application isn't always ideal either, because you can have issues with emulation and not having been set properly in JavaScript. And so the first step in proper development is always to start with Internet Explorer. Once you know you've got that functional, then you try to bring it into your application, and you can start banging your head against your application as to why even that doesn't work. But the first step is always Internet Explorer, or it should be. So with Microsoft having crippled us in the fact that you can't even launch it, it makes development that much harder, like significantly harder in some cases. So today I just wanted to explore a couple techniques that work as of the recording of this, which was June 25th. I've come across plenty of posts when I was looking into this. This isn't the first time I encounter this problem. And sadly, what I've noticed is some of the workarounds that previously worked no longer do. And that's why I found it important to make it my own posting on the subject, to try to give some, I guess, updated techniques that still are functional. I've seen many people report that you can use Edge and go into tools and there's an option there. It's not there for me. I've checked multiple times. I've tried, a command prompt. We'll look at that in 2 seconds. So there were many workarounds that previously worked that Microsoft, I guess, over time with security updates have blocked. And I'm going to warn you guys, there's no guarantee that as you watch this video, that even what I'm going to be saying works today may not work anymore by the time you view this video. So yeah, Microsoft is trying very forcibly to make sure no one can run Internet Explorer. That being said, some of us still need it, so let's dive in and see which options are available to us. So workarounds, command prompt. Well, let's just take one example here of the command prompt. So normally I would just do something like this, bring up the command prompt. Let me bring it into Site for you. And then I just post in the command. So I go find my executable for Internet Explorer, and then you pass it a URL. So it can be a file, it can be a web address, it can also be the about blank page, whatever you do want. Now, if we do this, what will happen is you'll see here is it opens Edge. It does not open Internet Explorer. Furthermore, whenever you run this command, it then goes and creates a protection, a report, whatever, I'm not sure, that Windows has blocked access to this. And as you see here, user profile favorites, and it's talking about iExplorer. I have no clue what this is. They give so little information that truthfully I have no clue what this is. And by authorizing it, will it suddenly work? I don't know anything. And this is just, like I say, a prime example. This used to work. You used to be able to use this. It doesn't. You used to be able to come into your list of applications and find Internet Explorer, right? Internet Explorer app. And you'd use that and that would work. And it no longer does. It launches Edge. So those two avenues are out. and there's nothing you can do. You can try running as an administrator. You can try restoring the previous session. Nothing works. It's always Edge. So that brings us to VB Script. Good old VB Script. And luckily for us, VB Script works. So I'll just copy. It's 3 lines of code. So you just come create yourself a new text file, and you can call it whatever you'd like, launch IE. Now, the important thing here is make sure you change it to a VBS, a VB script file, and confirm that, yes, you want to change the extension. And apparently, I already have a file with that. So we'll do launch IE2. Yes, yes, there we go. And now we'll edit it with any text editor. So let me bring that into view for you. Here we go. And we just copy paste those 3 lines. So this one will initiate, this create object will initiate Internet Explorer. The next line, pretty obvious. It makes it visible to the user. And then the last line is telling it what to do, which URL to go to. So we're going to just start off with about blank. We'll close and save it. And all you have to do is double click. And voila, Internet Explorer will open for you on the about blank page. Now, say you've got yourself a text file, and you would like to, like a text HTML file, should I say, and that's what you want. Well, we just go into edit, and instead of the about blank, we'd switch that out to whichever file you want to view. And now we'll open it up. And there you go. It has opened up my slider HTML with testing. And just for sake of completeness here, for anyone that really wants to go this route for some reason, you can also do a URL. There's no problem there either. Having said that, I would not recommend using Internet Explorer for web navigation. Okay, you are asking for trouble. I'm showing these techniques for development purposes and local testing primarily. Okay, so that's the VB script. Now, if I come back to my article for 2 seconds, after VB script, his twin brother here, VBA, and that is the beauty here. We can use VBA as well. So now we can integrate this into our various applications. I'm going to take Excel. It can be Access, it can be Word, it can be Outlook. It doesn't make a difference. So I'm just going to start a blank workbook. We'll go into VBA. We'll insert a standard module, and we can paste that code. And if you comment this out for 2 seconds, and uncomment this guy. So we'll start off exactly the same as the previous example. So we're going to launch the About Us page, the About Blank page. And there it is, the About Blank page loaded. You want to navigate to HTTPS to Google. That's what you do. And we launch it, yes. And it's brought us to Google. You want to open that file. We just copy, paste, and we run. And it's opened that file. So VB script, VBA, they're brothers. If you can do it in one, you can do it in the other. There's no issue. That brings us to PowerShell. Well, I'm mentioning PowerShell because VB script is going away, whether we like it or not. That's the simple reality. And a VB script has the ability to launch Internet Explorer. Well, so does PowerShell, because PowerShell can launch COM objects. If we just copy this line of code for 2 seconds, I'll launch my PowerShell ISE, bring it into window view for you guys to see. And what we can do is we can just paste that one line there. And if we run it, Internet Explorer will open on the blank page. If you want, you can come here and, like previous examples, HTTPS, and run that, and there you go. And also, if you want to put a file, you can put a file. So that's one version of code. I personally prefer this version just because it's much more in tune with what we're used to with VBScript and VBA. But the choice is yours. So if we come and we'll comment out this last line, we do the run, it launches the about page. If we wanted to, we could then come here, GPS, google.com, and we run our code. It will launch, Google for us. And if we want a file, we comment this out. And put our file and run that. And it will eventually open Internet Explorer to that file for us. This can be turned into a function. This can also be run from different languages because PowerShell can be invoked even through VBA if you wanted. In this case, there's no reason to, since we can do it directly in VBA, but the ability to use the PowerShell scripts is there in numerous other languages, so it gives us this ability. So there you have it. Basically, three different approaches currently that I'm aware of for launching Internet Explorer, since Microsoft has basically crippled us from doing it any other way. So the direct link to the app doesn't work. Command prompt going and finding the executable doesn't work. So this leaves us in this position where we have to use code, some code. So VBScript, VBA, PowerShell. Probably some other languages have the ability to do the similar create object, or here the com object. So I'm sure there are other languages, but these are the languages that I use commonly and that are common to pretty much any PC. Getting into things like Perl and other .NET and whatnot, not necessarily 100% as common. So I'm sticking with what I'm comfortable and able to port to pretty much any computer very easily. And, between these three, I'm quite happy. But there you have it. You can now open files, you can open websites, and you can just open the about blank. Because that is one of the things too, if ever you really want to. You can always do the about blank with any of these techniques. What am I doing? Play all. Just to bring it up. And then once you're here, then if you want, you can go file, open, you can go find your file, you can do whatever you need to do. But if you're just trying to bring up an instance of it, you don't have to navigate to a URL or even open a file. Just go to the about blank page. Then the application is loaded and operational for you to use to go do whatever it is you need to do. And that's going to be it for today. You now have several techniques available to you for using and launching Internet Explorer. For me, this is a great tool for testing purposes, development purposes. This is not something I recommend anyone use in any manner for actually surfing the web. There are security reasons why Internet Explorer is no longer the recommended browser of choice. That being said, Microsoft's approach of having an application on your computer but not allowing you to use it, on the other hand, is plain ludicrous, disrespectful to any user, and, well, these techniques at least enable us to get back a little bit of the power so we can actually do our work. Wishing you all a great day, and we will see you in another video. Take care, everyone, and enjoy your summer.